Greetings and salutations. How y'all doing? Thanks for checking out the video. This is a follow-up video about my RT85 turntable by Flaunce. It's an RT85N to be precise, without the N, which would be a Nagaoka MP110 cartridge. Now, in my last video about this turntable, I was detailing how I got the table and I had a very bad static issue with the Nagaoka. I sent it back and I've been using my own cartridges since, and it's been working just fine. So if you want to go check that video out, this video will certainly make a lot more sense. I'll put a link to that video in the description. Before we get into talking about the turntable, I am going to stick the phone up here and show you that, yes, this backyard over here out the window is extremely messy. I know if somebody sees that, they're going to comment on it. They're doing some work next door, and that's why it looks that way. Also, we're doing some work back here in this room, which is why everything seems to be kind of jammed together, even more than usual. So, what do I think of this turntable after owning it for 3 months? I love it. I have gotten used to its slight character flaws, and we're getting along swimmingly. I had told you the last time around that the two things I did not like about it was that the automatic stop was very weird, so I turned it off, but that's been no issue since I turned it off. And the other thing was that we have a very tiny Q lever that goes on to this arm. You can hardly see it. It's right there behind the thing. I don't know how well you can see that, but it's there, and it's small. Everything else I have no issue with. Now, one of the things that somebody asked me in the comments about the last video is why I have a felt mat on top of an acrylic platter. And the reason is very simple. I need to add 1 millimeter of height because this turntable, according to Flaunce, is set up for the MP110 cartridge from the factory. And that means the tone arm is looking for a cartridge that's about 18.5 millimeters tall. So it would be fine if I was using, let's say, an Ortofon 2M Blue or a Ortofon OM10 or OM20 or even a OM5E, which are all 18 millimeters high. Be perfectly all right. But I'm using other brands. I like Audio-Technica cartridges, and they are 17, so I need to add 1 millimeter here to make the VTA work out, or try and figure out how to adjust the arm, which I don't want to do. The other thing is I'm not real thrilled about putting a record onto a hard surface. I know people do it. I know it's supposed to be okay with acrylic mats. I personally don't like it and don't want to do it. So I'm fine with the setup as it is. So the turntable has been beautiful. I highly recommend Flaunce. They're a wonderful company to work with. I think their prices are fair for what they sell. And this turntable has allowed me to move on to a new level of phono cartridge magic. On this turntable right now, we have an Audio-Technica VM540ML. That's right, a microlinear stylus. And I know some of you out there are going, well, Joe, you always say don't use microlinear styli to stay with elliptical. Well, I have done that in the past, and the main reason is they don't get along well with polystyrene 45s, which we have a lot of here in America. The general consensus is that you should not play a styrene 45 with anything other than a conical tip or an elliptical tip stylus. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about there, and you would like to learn more, I will place a link in the description to a video where I do a review of some Audio-Technica cartridges. We're actually going to talk about both of them here in this video, and I go into great detail about the difference in stylus tips and what you can buy. So now with a Microline stylus, we have moved into the exotic realm. So on my Orbit turntable, you may recall, I had put my Audio-Technica VM540ML, which is a cartridge I dearly love. Here is the stylus from that cartridge. What I did to upgrade to the 540ML was simply buy a new stylus and put it on that cart, and put this cartridge on a lovely Flaunce head shell and put it on the turntable. And it has been a shocking experience to listen to it, because the 530EN is noted as being a cartridge that has an elevated treble response. Some people really hate this. I've noticed it. It doesn't bother me too much. But that was one of the reasons I thought, let me try this Microline stylus. Well, guess what it does, boys and girls? It flattens out that cartridge ruler flat, and it sounds wonderful. For playing 45s, I have another turntable set up, and I'll show you that at the end of the video. So, in my last video about this turntable, you may recall that I was using this Stanton 500 cartridge right here. And you see it here decked out with a Stanton D50E stylus. And I had acquired a Pickering replacement stylus from LP Gear. Well, it sounded good for a while, and then I started noticing a lot of sibilance. I took the brush off of it, thinking that might be the problem. I retuned it up, still got the sibilance. And so I finally gave up on that. I was able to go online and find a Stanton 500 compatible light tracking styli from Stanton, which is the D71, which was the one they used for the L720, which was their P-mount cartridge. And I bought it. It was new old stock. It was $80, and it had the same sibilance issues. The only Stanton stylus that I own right now that does not have significant sibilance distortion problems is this D50E. Unfortunately, the D50E, like most high-quality replacement styli for Stantons, is made of unobtainium. So therefore, I have moved on from the Stanton, even though it is one of my favorite cartridges, and I love the sound. So what I bought was a Audio-Technica. This is an Audio-Technica AT-VM540ML. And this has an elliptical nude stylus on it. I did that whole video about this cartridge and the VM540EN, which is its bigger brother, which is what that was until I upgraded it. The link is in the description, and you can go check it out. Now, this turntable performed beautifully with the 530EN. I think, the VM95EN. That's what I'm holding in my hand. And I bought it from Audio-Technica already on a head shell. And I was able to align it super easy because it's a standard SME head shell on this turntable, and you can use the Techniques alignment tool to get it to exactly 52 millimeters from the back of the washer there to the end of the tip of the stylus. And then I recommend that you go ahead and get you a real bare-walled alignment tool, which we will show right side up. This one is from Hudson Hi-Fi, and so it's a two-step process. You can get it close, and then you can double-check it here. So I have been able to get the alignment dead on perfect for all of the cartridges that I have mounted here. Now, the quality of sound that I was getting with this beautiful Audio-Technica VM95EN was good. It was very polite. It sounded nice. It was a nice flat frequency response, but it wasn't exciting for me, and I thought maybe this turntable can finally do something that I've always wanted to do, which is, like I said earlier in the video, to use one of the more exotic stylish shapes. If you're going to spend the kind of money that these cartridges go for, which is nearly $300 now in the US, and the replacement styli I got for $209, that's just for the stylus, for this Microline stylus, then you really need to put it on a turntable that's capable of giving you the quality. And this Flaunce turntable can definitely do that. This has turned out to be a fantastic tone arm, boys and girls. The bearings are tight. Everything is dialed in the way it should be. When you set the anti-skate, it's right where it needs to be. There's not a whole lot of fooling around. So therefore, yes, I could move up to the ML stylus with ease. And I have really been enjoying what I'm hearing. One of the things that made me do that is that I was doing some research. I was thinking about buying an AT440MLA, which is a cartridge that I wanted to buy years ago, but like I said, never had the turntable to put it on. And all of my research shows that the 540ML is cross-compatible with the old 440MLA. That's they still sell them. You can get a new 440MLA for $300 and something. But they're basically compatible. And the sound is very similar to the 440 MLA, except, like I said, I now have this ruler flat frequency response coming off of these records, which is one of the reasons that I loved Stanton. Stanton is renowned for having a very neutral sound, and so does this. But it does have that high frequency extension, and it gets way down low. This is a fantastic listening experience. So yes, I recommend this turntable. Absolutely, no doubt about it. I think it's great. I'd love to hear your comments and suggestions and questions and whatever you need. Just to know, just stick it down in the comments. Okay, before I wrap up the video, this is the turntable that I have set up currently just to play 45s and also old mono LPs, maybe stuff I've bought at a yard sale that I don't know the quality of yet, and before I play it on such an expensive cartridge, I might want to spend it on something that's a little bit more expendable. And the cartridge that is on here is an RT91B. That is the conical stylus there with a carbon fiber cantilever. And this is a very inexpensive cartridge. Audio-Technica says it's discontinued on their website, but you can pick them up on eBay. And I just bought another stylus for this to have as a backup. And this is very much related to the Audio-Technica AT3600L, except this one will track nicely at 2 grams. And it does have a bit of a richer sound than the AT3600L. So this is the turntable that it's on, Audio-Technica. I believe this is a W40WN. I think that's the correct serial number, or a model number rather, on this. And this particular turntable, boys and girls, they stopped making for a while, and now they've got it back again. And this is made by the same company that made that Flaunce RT85 handpin, and it uses the same servo-controlled belt drive, or very similar to it, that is on the RT85. This is a servo-controlled belt drive turntable, and it's well worth seeking out. Like the LP3 by Audio-Technica, that's not. It's just a DC motor, and you'd have to set the speed by turning some little trimmers on the bottom. This, it figures it out for itself, and it's very accurate speed-wise. As a matter of fact, I have dubbed a lot of 45s that have ended up on the air at my radio station, and a couple, 2 or 3 that we play in rotation. So this has been a wonderful turntable, and with the AT91B cartridge on there, like I said, I can play mono LPs, old stuff, 45s, mainly polystyrene, but vinyl as well, and not worry about messing anything up. It has a built-in internal preamp, which is pretty good. Now, the quality of audio is not up to what I'm getting from the RT85 with the 540ML, but that's a little different deal now, isn't it? So anyhow, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. We'll talk again soon.